members of the SGB, local ward councillors, Gauteng Department of Education, regions, district officials, community members, the executive mayor of Okoleni, merSETA staff members, media, parents, and most importantly, the school children of Katlehong. I say good morning to you all. Is it still morning? Yes. I say good morning to you all. I'm absolutely honoured to be able to give this speech here today on behalf of our CEO, Mr. Wayne Adams. At the moment, some of the SETAs are Hollywood. Mr. Adams is acting CEO of the merSETA, and I, Cheryl Pretorius, am the acting COO of the merSETA. But my real job is Senior Manager, Client Services. And my clients are the employers, the educators, as well, and most importantly, the learners. Without those three, we do not have skills development training, apprenticeships, learnerships, etc. in our country. We are gathered here today to launch the Katlehong Technical Secondary School as a school of specialization with the focus on manufacturing, transport and logistics. The merSETA is the manufacturing, engineering related services SETA. So it's called the Sector Education and Training Authority. We look at the training and the quality of training within the manufacturing sector. Manufacturing sector, very big sector. We have over 44,000 companies, which are very, very important for children to get that on-the-job training, the learners to get the on-the-job training. So we are the metal and engineering sector, that's your metals, etc. We are the motor sector, which is a very, very big sector, and it's the sector that has supported this school. And if it wasn't for that sector, our children wouldn't be, we wouldn't have already 9 qualified artisans from this school. I need to thank Mr. Opperman for driving this project. The merSETA puts in a lot of money into skills development. But the money is only there to be able to support. We cannot run the project. So if it wasn't for Mr. Opperman running the project in the way he did, we wouldn't have this project being so successful. Our other partners that we want to thank is NISN, and I'll explain to you later on in my speech why NISN was so important and has really brought this project about. We want to thank our employers. Without the 3 employers that I'm going to mention, our children wouldn't have been able to be placed at these companies in order to get their on-the-job training. That is Ford Fury, it is Hatfield Audi, and it is Hatfield Volkswagen. We want to say thank you to you. During 2012, now I've been with the merSETA, and I'm giving my age away now. I was first with the Metal Industries Education Training Board, which also did skills development. And I started in 1990 with the skills development arena. It's my passion. I could have moved on, but this is where my love lays. I then went to the merSETA in 2000 when we moved over to skills development. In 2012, now when I was started in 1990, the technical high schools were there with brilliant workshops. Later on, we decided to go to the outcome-based training, thinking it was the best, which it was good, but we demolished a lot of our workshops. In 2012, just prior to 2012, our companies were saying to us, our organizations were saying to us, we need to do something with our learners at the schools because they just do not meet our requirements. We then decided, as the merSETA, to adopt 2 technical high schools, one of them being Katlehong. That was in 2012. We then came and we did the assessment of the Katlehong workshops, and yes, we found 1 or 2 engines, a little bit of motor mechanics in there, but the technology was totally outdated. We then made a call to our employers and said, please, we have got these 2 schools, the one being Katlehong, and we're looking for a motor mechanic workshop. And to our absolute surprise and delight, guess who came forward? Nissan South Africa came forward and said, we are willing to help. They came to the school, they assessed the school, they assessed the environment, they even assessed the curriculum. And they then came and they donated brand new Nissan engines. It was 2 brand new engines, 2 brand new gearboxes, one being a 4x4 gearbox. I tried to convince Nissan to hand over to me, because at that time I had a Nissan hard body 4x4 and I really needed one of those engines. But he wouldn't budge, and I'm looking at him. And of course, we got an engine block. So thank you, Nissan, very much, because if it wasn't for Nissan starting and helping with that project, we also wouldn't be here today. That was in 2012, 2013, that area. We really tried to get this project off the ground, and we kind of like failed, and we thought, oh well, you know, maybe we need to carry on and look somewhere else. But we had a chairperson that came from this area, and she was absolutely determined to make sure that this school would prosper. We then came back in the beginning of 2017, and Mr. Opperman had just taken over as the school principal. I promise you, merSETA normally moves quite fast. I won't ask the employers that, but we tend to move fairly fast when it comes to projects. But Mr. Opperman was a driver. He was absolutely going to push us to make sure that we went into this agreement. We signed the agreement with Katlehong in 2017 and sponsored 20 grade 12 learners in the motor mechanic apprenticeship program. For a person to be registered as an apprentice, you need to have the following. You need to have the correct education, qualification, preferably a technical qualification with the relevant trade theory. Well, Katlehong, let's tick that box. Organizations will give preference to learners that have been able to apply their knowledge into practice in a simulated area. Well, let's tick that box. Thank you, Nissan SA. Finally, once those learners are ready to go into the industry as an apprentice, we need on-the-job training. You can have as much simulated training as you want. You will not become qualified. You need to have on-the-job training to understand the real world, to understand time, to understand discipline, to understand how to be a proud artisan. So the most important element in this, yes, the learners, yes, the training provider. However, without our employers, we will not be able to get qualified artisans to the standard that we want. So it is compulsory that we have an employer and we have a learner when it comes to the apprenticeship training program. So let's tick that box. Thank you to Ford Fury, thank you to Hatfield Audi, and thank you to Hatfield Volkswagen. The learners of Katlehong Technical Secondary School are now becoming what we classify as one of the privileged learners, due to no longer having to go to TVET colleges, universities of technology, or even at times universities, just to try and get their foot in the door to become an artisan. Once they have got a company that is willing to take them on, they can go straight from grade 12 from this school, as long as they have the relevant trade theory and mathematics. They will be able to be swallowed up into an apprenticeship or learnership training program. As merSETA, we are excited to be part of this initiative, which aims to ensure our learners are well equipped with skills from a very early age. That is the foundations we're looking at. We would like to congratulate the learners, and this one I am so excited about. We would like to congratulate the learners who have already been trained through this program. A special congratulations to 9 who has passed their trade test. First attempt. Well done. There are 8 in the line to undertake their trade test. Lizette, make sure you get those paperwork through so we can get the dates. I am looking at this, and hopefully it'll be first time again. I have been in this sector for a number of years, as I told you, and it's very, very seldom that we get learners that pass their trade test first time. So well done, learners. There is a perception amongst our youth that there is a higher respect and integrity for white-collar jobs than being an artisan. This is far from the truth. All you have to hear is from our government to say we have a lack of artisans, we have a lack of skills, we have a lack of skilled people. If you look around the world, you look at New Zealand, Australia, Canada, those who are on social media, and I don't have to ask the learners that, they know it. There is artisans that are needed right around the world. We don't want to lose our artisans to other countries. No, we don't. But I'm just trying to say that to become an artisan or to become a skilled worker is what the world is requiring and what we need in South Africa. We have a number of learners that have gone to universities that unfortunately are sitting still at the ShopRites and the Pick and Pays, etc., where they cannot find jobs. We would like to convey our utmost gratitude to Nissan once again for providing technical support to the school and a donation to the value of 140,000 to the school. The donation was aimed at aligning the motor mechanic qualification with up-to-date technology. We want to thank Nissan, once again Ford Fury, once again Hatfield Audi, and once again Hatfield Volkswagen for the involvement in educating and developing our youth so that they can create a better life for themselves and those of their families. As the merSETA, we continue to work with industry to ensure that we train our learners in accordance with industry needs. We will also continue to work with this school, Mr. Opperman, to ensure the provision of any support that may require learners to be trained up. Now I know that I'm putting my head on the block by saying that to him, because now my phone will be ringing early tomorrow morning, asking for more assistance to try and get the school to a world-class training centre. There is a need for conducive partnerships between industry, private and public sectors. And once again, you can see that this is well run by this school. You've got Nissan, you've got Hatfield, Volkswagen, Hatfield Audi, Fury here, and we need more on board. You can see outside here, you have a number of companies. For the fourth industrial revolution, and I'm nearly finished, for the fourth industrial revolution has landed, bringing in new technology advancements, such as the Internet of Things, robotics, virtual reality, this school is already starting, and artificial intelligence. The developments are changing the way we live and work. We therefore need to adapt to these changes so that we are not left behind in the world as the world moves on. We cannot ignore that technology is important. Despite differing views on the impact, Industry 4.0 challenges traditional thinking and presents a new era in the industrial development. And you saw one of the areas here, which was shown to you, where there is virtual reality happening at the school. The merSETA has conceptualized, developed, and is implementing dual apprenticeships and learning schemes that directly link shop floor techniques with the world of virtual learning. We are heavily involved in facilitating training and skills development so that we continue to train today's workers for tomorrow. I want to thank every single one of you, especially once again Mr. Opperman. Thank you for the drive, because we can have all the partnerships we want. If we don't have a good project manager to project manage any project, it will fail. So thank you to you all. Thank you, Mr. Opperman. Thank you, sir. And thank you to the learners.
Thanks very much, Ms. Victorious. Wasn't that a wonderful speech, everyone? One thing